Ciao, is it on? Oh, I didn't know, okay. Ciao, Bellezza. Today, I'm making your absolute favorite. So, you know, my previous video, I showed you how to make a quick sauce, right? Remember, if you wanna add meat to it, just brown the meat before, except for the meatballs. And that's what I did today. So I have sauce, and you know, I don't brown my meatballs or bake them or fry them. I just put them in raw and let them cook. But those are the ones that I froze from before, the meatballs. And so they've been cooking for the last hour and a half. So those will be ready. But what I have to show you is how to make the actual manicotti, the little pasta that you fill and then you display like a lasagna, I guess you could call that. So let's start with the ingredients, okay? First, you're gonna need 1 cup of flour, 3 eggs, 2 cups of water, and a pinch of salt. The way that you do this is super important. Like the order that it's done is really, really important. So pay attention. It's easy, but the order matters. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to break the eggs and put them in my lovely KitchenAid. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to start this by pushing this up. And as I turn the beater on, I'm going to start adding the flour. Here we go. I'm going to let it keep going. It's going to come into like, I want to say like a thick consistency, which I'm going to show you. So that consistency right here is normal. You see that? It's very normal for it to be thick like that. And you're like, well, how am I going to make a pasta out of this? Well, this is why the order of the ingredients are super important. Let me show you. Once you have that consistency, you're going to turn the beater on to medium speed, and you're going to dump the water all at once, and you're going to see what happens. It's going to start mixing it, kind of like a pancake consistency, a bit more liquidy, okay? I'll crank it up just a little just to mix it in a little better. Oh, and while it's doing that, let's put in our salt. There we go. Okay, let's check to see if this is the consistency I want. Yep, it's still a little bit on the bottom here, so don't be afraid to swish this around. So you want to make sure all of that kind of liquefies. So you want to swish it around, and we'll do it for another 15 seconds. Okay, that looks perfect, but I will double check. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's excellent. Now this recipe is for about, I would say 4 to 6 people serving size. So now you notice what I have here, and I'm going to turn on the pan to medium heat. It's a small frying pan. Nothing special about this frying pan. I mean, this is sort of like a non-stick pan. Those work the best in my opinion. But I'm going to put this on. I'm going to let it warm up. Now, it's real important that the pan is hot before you start putting the mixture in to make the little manicotti shells, okay? Super important. And when I say hot, I'm not saying put it on high heat. I'm just saying make sure that it's hot before you start putting this mixture in. And this is how we're going to do this. I'm just gauging to see if it's warm enough, and we're getting there. By the way, look at the sauce. It looks amazing. It's going to be so good. You shall see. I use a little ladle. Helps me with the measurement. So what I do, as you can see right here, I just want to make sure it's still nicely mixed. I don't fill the ladle up completely. I will grab the pan, put it here, and this is what I do. I put it in, and you have to swirl it around, just like so. See? Swirl, swirl until it stops swirling, and then you let it cook. And you will know when it's ready to flip it because the edges are going to start curling over. When the edges start curling over, you can flip it. Now, I do it with my hands because I really don't feel heat like most people. I don't know, maybe it's from the years of cooking, but you may not like to do that, so you can get tongs or, you know, one of those little rubber flippers to flip it over. So it's going to take some time for it to peel its edges. You see it's getting ready to start peeling. You see how the edges start peeling off a little bit? They're going to start doing that all the way around. That's exactly what you want. And you notice I didn't put anything in the pan. I didn't put any spray oil or butter, nothing. Nothing at all. No olive oil. It doesn't need it. See, the edges are going to start curling. And when they all start curling, that's when it's time to flip it over. Let's wait a little longer to see. So let's take a look here. See? Now I just grab it by the hands, just like this, and I flip it over. Look at that. And then give it, you know, a few seconds, maybe a minute to cook on the other side. And then I'll show you what I do with that once they're done. Now you see? Look how easy it moves. It should just move this easily. It's not going to take long. It's kind of similar, I suppose, to a crepe, right? So if any of you have had crepes, it's similar to that. But this is pasta. Manicotti. Again, let me show you how to do it. I put a ladle full. Don't worry about the chunks. They will melt down. And I just keep swirling and swirling and swirling until it stops swirling, just like that. So I'll be making quite a few of these. And when I'm done making these, we're going to stuff some with meat, some with cheese. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you the stuffing for the cheese and what I do with the meat. Now I will say this, it's a little time consuming. So make sure you have a good 30 minutes available to you to be able to do this. You are also able to do this in advance. These freeze very well. And my only suggestion is that once they have cooled off, okay, they look like this and they've cooled off, just put them between wax paper and put them in a plastic freezer bag so it'll freeze very nicely, and then just leave it there. And when you're ready to use it, make sure that it defrosts naturally in the refrigerator, not out of the refrigerator, because then they'll get soggy. Here we go, flipping. And you keep doing this until this mixture here is all gone. Okay, so we'll see you back here when I'm done making all of these in just a bit. Okay, you just called me and I have to do this really quick to show you. Okay, look how beautiful this is. This will feed a family of 6, maybe even 7 beautifully. All right, there's I think 20 of these shells. Now what I'm going to show you is how to make the cheese stuffing, because that's your favorite. To do meat stuffing, all you got to do is get the meatballs, you know, scrunch them up, roll them up with some cheese inside and sauce. But the cheese, I want to show you. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put about a 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay. I'm going to put, I love a lot of fresh parsley. So I'm going to say about 1/2 cup of that. I'm going to put a pinch of salt. Oh, let's put another pinch. Okay. And then we're going to put 3 eggs. And you're on your way here. I don't know why. I mean, I love you, but why are you coming home early? Okay, this is supposed to be a surprise for you. And then you can just make sure you get the eggs in and swirl it around evenly. Make sure that it all blends in evenly. Oh, the ricotta is about, I put about 2 pounds of ricotta. So 2 pounds of ricotta, 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, and about 1/2 cup of freshly cut parsley. Now listen, you can put spinach, you can put mushrooms, you can put anything you want else in here, but if you do that, you have to make sure that the spinach, the mushrooms are cooked prior to putting it into this mixture. They have to be cooked, sauteed, steamed, however you want to do it. Okay, I know some people like to put squash and things like that. That's different. If you're going to do squash, it's a whole different recipe, but let's just stick to this for today. Okay, so the first step is you're going to need a bit of fresh mozzarella di bufalo, and I have a mix of pecorino romano and parmigiano reggiano. Okay, I'm going to get a ladle full of sauce to put on the bottom of a pan. There we go. Put it in like this. Perfect. I'm also going to preheat the oven to 375. 375. And here I go. I'm going to do this so fast. So basically what you're going to want to do is put this in like this. Just like so. Che bella, no? I just put a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. You don't really need to, but I like to. And then you just roll them up and then lay them just like that. I have a lot of filling, so I'm going to make them as thick as I can. A little bit of Parmigiano. And we're just going to keep doing this. You're 15 minutes away. My gosh. It's probably the fastest manicotti I've ever made in my life. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make one of cheese and one of meat. When you're done filling them, just put some sauce on top like this. See? Just like that. Then we're going to put some Parmigiano Reggiano. And put a little Mozzarella di Bufala, just a little bit, because this is already very cheesy. Now, if this was the one that was filled with the meat, I would be layering this on very thick. Trust me. But you don't want, I mean, this sounds probably blasphemous, but you don't want it too cheesy. Cover it. Whoop. And you bake it in the oven for about, I would say about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes in the oven, maybe even 45, depending on your oven, okay? And when we come back, I'll let you see what it's supposed to look like, okay? And in the meantime, I'm gonna show you how to make the meat real quick too. Okay, so now, if you wanna do meat, okay, for you meat lovers out there, grab the meatballs that have been cooking. Don't worry about how much sauce is on there because you want sauce. You want it to be easy to do. Now, this isn't the only way that you can do the meat manicotti. You can do bolognese style, make a bolognese sauce and fill it with that. But I just like this because I just love the texture here. Okay, I mean, look at these beautiful, beautiful meatballs. I'm just gonna squish them down, squish them, just like that. And I'm gonna add just a little sauce on top. Okay, so it doesn't seem so dry. And then you'll see how I stuff all of these. How do we stuff this? Again, you're gonna layer the pan, the bottom, with sauce. And so we're gonna begin. Here we go. Some of the meat, put it in. A little bit of mozzarella di bufalo and parmigiano. Roll that up. That's how I'm going to do the rest of these, just like that. And some cheese. Bellissima. Okay, so now we're just going to put the sauce on top, just like I showed you before. Can you imagine she walks in? What are you doing, Mom? Nothing. What do you mean? I always cook like this. I need the light. I can't see. I'm old. So funny. Bello, bello, bello. Okay. Now, first thing, put some Parmigiano Reggiano. Now this one, we want a little more. I know it's going to be super cheesy. It's going to be amazing. Look at this. Don't worry about it. Spread it on. It'll be one. And I still have more shells, so I'll make another one. Here we go. Let's put it in. I'm going to put both on the bottom. we'll see you back in about 40 minutes. Oh, okay. So I was going to say, while you get the lettuce, whatever lettuce you want, can you grab some lemons too?
Okay.
Thank you.
What's some lemons? Like 2 lemons?
Yeah, give me 2 lemons.
Or is it like 5? Like,
okay, just do the 2. Love
okay.
you.
Love you.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, we only have a few minutes to get this working. We gotta get this done. Okay, so I also made a small one because you're on your way. I literally have like 10 minutes to get all this prepared. So I made a small one. This is what it should look like. Look how beautiful that looks. And so I'm gonna put it on a plate so that you can see how wonderful this really is. Now, normally I would let it sit for a few minutes, but since I don't have that time and luxury, this is gonna have to do. So here we go. Look at that. Beautiful. And what would I do to make it even more special is I would just add some Parmigiano Reggiano. And that is how you serve Manicotti. Yum, 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 yum. Let's see. Buon appetito, bella. Flavors are spot on. Amazing. You can taste the freshness of the buffalo mozzarella. You can taste all the flavors. The manicotti itself is so delicious and so super light. So you see how easy it was to make? Simple, right? I want you to try it, and I hope it turns out as well as it turned out for me. I love you, Bellezza. And to the next recipe, I hope you enjoy.